Jai Guru. Question. I do not yet understand how my presence and your presence can be the same presence. In my case, the spirit became associated with this body specifically and can only experience anything through this particular body, born in 1982. All the while, that same presence is also looking at itself through Anne's senses, through Anne's mind. But from here, there is nothing but my senses and mind. When Maharaj says, before the body you were formless, does that mean I was formless for all eternity before I was born? And why did my presence have to wait for a specific human organism before it clicked? Was it not also there as the presence behind your body, Maharaj's body, and everyone else who ever lived? If so, why does Maharaj so often say that before and after the body form there is nothing whatsoever? Answer. When we talk about presence, we are referring to the power, the energy, the one essence of which we are all a part. You're using the mind to try and work it out, which only keeps you in duality. This knowledge is all about reality, non-duality that is prior to and beyond the mind. There is only one reality, not two. Therefore, there is only one presence. When the formless took form, when spirit clicked with the body, and that body was given a name, so you started to believe that you were this body-mind complex. You were separated from source, from the one source. We were all separated from the one source. And because you were separated, not in essence, but by temporarily taking form, you believed yourself to be who you thought you were and took yourself and the world for real. It is the same story for Anne. When the formless became form, she too forgot about her true identity and believed in the illusory story that she was fed and nurtured on. You say you cannot see anything but your senses and mind, but when you self-inquire and through a process of neti-neti find out what you are not, that all that you thought you were was illusion, then you can discard these layers of conditioning and eventually reconnect with Source. Eventually, you will conclude that everything is an illusion, you and the world, and realize that you were not and are not separate. There is only oneness. The idea of separation, individuality, etc. was all an illusion. Before the body, you were formless. If you can conceive that, in order to wake up from the dream that you are the body-mind, countless so-called births have been taken. And each time you get closer to realizing your true nature. So you are formless in eternity prior to all the, quote, incarnations, unquote. If you awaken this time around, then no need for any more. So your presence did not wait for this specific one and only incarnation. It has taken form many times with many different names ascribed to you. Your presence ever existed. It has and will always be there, like the sky, free of an eye, omnipresent. So yes, you are a part of the one and only presence, as is everyone else. Maharaj says there is nothing, meaning no thing before and after the body form. Here in the context of no mind, no body, no thoughts, no world, no nothing. Everything comes from nothing and returns to nothing. The apparent something that comes out of nothing is actually nothing, as the world is the projection of our presence. Question. Master Bausaheb is near to me often. I'm deeply grateful for his grace. Thank you for sharing your experience with our Guru. He is near to you, obviously. You know, I used to be a Buddhist and was very involved with bodhisattvas, especially Padmasambhava and Avalokiteshvara. I am beginning to think that the masters of our lineage intervene, often in the lives of devotees, just like the bodhisattvas. What a great blessing. Answer. Of course, their presence is around us all the time. Jnanis, as you know, are completely liberated and they are with us always. They reside in a, let's call it a jnani dimension, and they look after us. I have experienced this many times, and I have also heard numerous experiences from others where the masters have made themselves known, often during difficult and challenging situations. It is a great blessing indeed. The lineage is very pure and ancient, and the Master's care for us is magnanimous. Question. I'll share my experiences as briefly as I can. I've been familiar with non-dualism through the teachings of Nisargadatta Maharaj for a couple of years. Since then, I've been practicing being focused on the I am state regularly, and it led to transformative events in my life. The first explicable outcome was that I've naturally started to follow my intuition in all actions. This led to a massive change in the physical reality around me, and my aspirations started to become fulfilled quickly. Another thing I've noticed is the detachment from all things physical, including my body. I started to perceive the physical reality as a kind of dream, and in this dream I can follow my fears or my desires, and the outcome depends on how I consciously distribute my attention. I am aware that it is my choice that anything appears in my life or not. And even though this dream is often pleasant, I can't stop thinking about waking up. Also, even though I don't perceive myself as a body, I am aware I still have the deepest fear of dying. It keeps me from the complete detachment, which I feel is something necessary to progress. To fight the fear, I often used to do something that frightened me, but it does not seem to work here. Recently, I've experienced something that I can call loving the fear. Might this be the solution? If this makes sense, could you share some words of advice regarding the dream state and the fear of death? I would be blessed if you do. Answer. There is no birth and there is no death. You are unborn. You do not have to either fight or love the fear because it is an illusion. The fear is coming from the pseudo-ego, from who you think you are, i.e. the mind-body complex. You are not that. In order to be liberated from the small self and its associated fears, what is needed is to absorb the knowledge of your true nature and grow in the conviction that you are not the body and never were. When the pseudo-self dissolves, the ghost of fear will also vanish. Recognize that this life is a long dream, and you are the witness and even beyond the witness. The Nam mantra helps us to dissolve the ego and the illusory layers that have covered over our presence, our reality, that one essence in which we all share. We are not separate beings, but part of the one omnipresent reality. Question. I have the conviction that I am not the body, that I am not my name. I can differentiate illusion from reality. At the same time, I know that everything is me, the consciousness that includes all kinds of matter and energy. I started to become aware of that after experiencing the feeling of presence produced by focusing on the I am thought. Is the Nam mantra somehow similar to this? Does it help to dissolve the fundamental concept, illusion of being a separate entity? I am excited to hear about such a wonderful instrument, and I wonder if you could kindly elaborate on that. Answer. Does it help to dissolve the fundamental concept of being a separate entity? Absolutely yes. The Nam mantra is invaluable. We are already realized, already our true nature, but that is obscured by layers of illusion, by the pseudo-I and all its creations. We need to remove all that is obscuring our true nature. Self-realization means freedom or liberation from the small I, the small self. The small illusory I cannot coexist with ultimate reality that you are. So we need to demolish everything we think we are, all the constructs, the layers, impositions, etc. The teachings and process of this lineage are the same as classical Vedanta. First, we are taught that everything we see is an illusion. We need to self-inquire and find out what we are not using the neti-neti approach. This means dissolving all the concepts and attachments. After that, we are taught that everything is Brahman, or reality. Once this knowledge is absorbed, the spontaneous conviction arises, which brings about a shift. And then, everything is seen from the perspective of Brahman, instead of from that of the former ego mind. How does the Nam mantra assist us? The Nam mantra is a powerful vibration. Its meaning is, I am Brahman, Brahman I am. When we recite the Nam mantra, we are hammering the ego and displacing the illusory thought of I am the body-mind. With practice, the constant repetition weakens the mind until the, quote, I am the body, unquote, notion is supplanted with the truth of, quote, I am Brahman, unquote. Jai Guru.